Let's be honest, it sucks when things don't go the way that you want them to, whether it's a relationship, a timeline, a plan, or a dream. And it's so easy to spiral into, why didn't it work out? What did I do wrong? Why isn't it happening for me? And you're allowed to feel that disappointment, but you don't have to live there. And this episode is all about seeing it differently, because when you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at really do change. And it's also such a beautiful reminder that sometimes something not working out for you is actually one of the best possible things that can happen for you. So let's talk about one of the biggest things that I've learned when it comes to the disappointment of things not working out. And it is that when we want something to work out, we often attach our worth, our identity, and our timeline to that thing we wanted, and we make it mean something so much more than it actually is. But sometimes, and honestly a lot of the time, we are more in love with the idea of it and what it represents to us than the actual reality of it. And often what we're craving underneath that is either the validation, the security, or proof that we're on the right track. When in reality, all something not working out for us means is that, look, this isn't the right fit for you. Like, we don't need to make it mean something so much more than it is. And so a really good check-in and something that you can ask yourself in these moments is, am I upset that it didn't work out? Or am I upset that I feel behind? Did I want this because it truly aligned with me, or because it made me feel enough, or whatever it is that it represents to you? And when we look through the lens of ego, rejection definitely feels like a personal failure or an attack, or like something's wrong with us. But when we zoom out a bit, we start to shift, and you really begin to see that maybe it isn't a loss. Maybe this has nothing to do with you, but it really just has to do with the fact that this is protection and it's making space for something better to come into your life. And so I want to give you some reframes that have helped me in a big way, and I hope that they can help you too. And the first one too is just realizing that the universe is not punishing you when something doesn't work out for you, but it is actually just protecting you. It's just telling you, like, hey, this isn't rejection, it's redirection. This one thing not working out for you is giving you space to look around and be like, maybe this is a different path that you could take. Maybe there's other things waiting for you. And again, it's just saying this isn't for you, but maybe something better is. And one of my favorite quotes says, the universe will never give you peace in something you were never meant to settle in. And that could not be more true. And I can't tell you how many times I've forced things into my life that weren't right and felt uneasy the whole time. And when it finally ended, there was so much relief that came from it, because every single time something better found its way in, or I got realigned with what actually mattered to me and what were my actual priorities. And so sometimes the universe has to remove what you won't walk away from because it knows you're meant for more. And when something leaves, it usually makes space for something better. And I think a prime example of this is let's say you have a friend who's in a relationship and you're like, that relationship is just not right for them. Like, you could see it on the outside, but they can't see it. And they're in it, and it's not a healthy relationship, or it's not the right fit for them. And then eventually their significant other ends up cheating on them or breaking up with them. And while that feels like it's not working out for them, and they're like, oh my God, that sucks. Like, because of that, they're now able to find out what is actually important to them, or they're able to find someone else who is so much better of a fit. And so that's just such a prime example of the universe taking out something out of your life that you're not able to walk out of or walk away from, because something better is meant to make space for you. And so something you can ask yourself instead of spiraling is, what else is this making space for? And what miracle can come in now that this door is finally closed? And now I also want to get real with you all for a second, because I know that someone listening to this is probably thinking, but I wanted that one thing to work out. I wanted that specific person. I wanted that opportunity, because I have gotten so many replies on TikTok and Instagram before when I've posted videos like this of people being like, well, I wanted that one person. And I get it. I felt that too. And I even recently had an experience in dating where I was definitely trying to force something, and deep down I knew it wasn't right. And when it ended, yes, of course I felt disappointment, but I also felt this deep peace, because I realized I cannot force something that's not meant for me. And that is actually such a beautiful thing. And it also reminded that I'm always being protected, even when I don't understand the why just yet. Like, it is so beautiful that the universe, God, a higher power, whatever you believe in, is able to be like, look, this thing is going to end and it has to end because something better and more aligned is meant to come into your life. And I promise you that when the right thing does come into your life, you're going to be able to look back and say, oh, that's why it didn't work out. And there is a future version of you who is just so grateful for those closed doors. And so I really want to take this one step further and have you ask yourself, what if you started to feel grateful for those closed doors, and really remember and realize like how lucky you are that you can't force something into your life that isn't yours. Like the universe will never let you settle in something that isn't right for you. And of course, a closed door might feel like a slammed one or like an ending. And in reality, it could just be a gentle nudge that says, hey, look over there. There's like another door and it's everything you've been asking for and more. And I think that is such a beautiful thing that it's like, oh, the quote, beginnings always find themselves in ends. And so, yes, it feels like a closed door, but what it really is, hey, look, there's another bigger, better door waiting for you. And here's another shift that's been very powerful for me too. And that is maybe this delay isn't a denial. Maybe it is a divine pause, and it's a loving pause that says, you're not meant to rush into that thing. You're meant to be guided back to yourself, to remember what's actually important. Because let's be honest, how often do we forget what truly matters to us when we're so focused on one outcome, when we're so attached to one outcome? We're like, I need this one thing to work out for me. We completely forget all of these other things that are important to us. And so instead of sitting in this sadness when something doesn't work out, try asking yourself, what would feel fun now that this didn't work out? How can I bring more lightness and joy into my life? And what's something I forgot I even wanted because I was so focused on that one thing? Because this is truly the time that you get to come back to yourself and step into your power. And an example from my own life too of just forgetting what's important when we get so attached to that is, there was a point when I wanted this job so badly. I was like, oh my God, this job is great. Like I thought this was my dream job, when in reality, there were so many things that were off about it, so many things that were not my dream job, because of course, like what I'm doing right now is what I've always wanted to be doing. But I got so attached and obsessed with this outcome of, oh, this is the right thing for me. This is the right thing for me. And when it didn't work out, of course, I was so bummed about it, but it really made me realign with myself and step into my own power and be like, wait, what is actually important to me? And what are my actual dreams? What are my actual desires that I can come back to myself with instead? So here's what I want to leave you with today instead. I know it's hard when things don't go your way, but they're not supposed to, especially when they're not right for you. And I promise you, it is never happening to you. It is always happening for you. If it's not working out, it could be because something so much better is on its way for you. And nothing that is truly meant for you will pass you by, especially when you are just focusing on what is important to you and what is in your control. So I'm really just encouraging you to release the timeline, trust the unfolding, focus on what you can control, and trust that what is meant for you will always find its way to you.